Hello everybody, today we're gonna be reading Marshmallows for Martians.
Good boy.
And now I'm gonna record my dad this nice alien.
Marshmallows for Martians.
Yeah, boy.
Okay, guys, are we ready for story time?
Story time with Daddy and Little Way.
Yeah, boy. Right then. A boy called George had a marvellous idea one night as he gazed at the stars. I'll go and find out what sweets Martians like best, so he planned his first mission to Mars. So George built a rocket and packed up his bag with a star, map, and plenty of treats. The bag full to bursting, he threw out his lunch so he'd have enough room for his sweets. He packed lollipops, toffees, and chocolate drops. He took chews with sharp lemon zest. There were gobstoppers, jelly beans, humbugs, mints, and marshmallows, his absolute best. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off! As George blasted off and he zoomed into space, he looked at his map of the stars. He checked out the window and steered to the left and set his course towards Mars. Past satellites, comets, and drifting space junks, George steered without even a bump. Then he finally saw the red planet appear and landed on Mars with a thump. George opened the door in a cloud of red dust. He jumped out and looked all around. At first, he saw no signs of alien life, but he could hear a very loud sound. George followed the noise to the top of the rock and peered down on an alien parade. Wow! Their outfits were shocking, but far worse than that were the yodeling yowls that they made. "Excuse me," said George as he jumped from the rock. "Are you Martians?" he asked with a smile. "We're yodelers from Yodel," their leader replied, "and we've not had a snack for a while." Uh-oh. So George gave the yodelers some of the treats that he'd brought. They gave all the lollies a lick. Then they gobbled the jelly beans up in a flash until they began to feel sick. "What have you done to our tummies?" they roared. "I'm terribly sorry," George said. "But maybe you won't be so greedy next time." Then he picked up his sweets and he fled.
Oh no, they're sick.
George hid in a crater, but soon heard a bang, like the clashing of very loud drums. He peeped out and spotted an alien band with cymbals attached to their bums. "Are you Martians?" called George, running up with a grin. "No, we're Bangbots from Wang Bangatu. We've come to this planet to bang on our drums, but we might take a break and eat you." "You don't want to eat me," said George with a gulp. "These sweets are much tastier, you'll see." The Bangbots crammed gobstoppers into their mouths and chewed on the toffee with glee. But the Bangbots soon found that their teeth were stuck tight, and they howled and they roared in dismay. Then they started to bang on their cymbals in rage as George turned and scrambled away. His sweets almost gone, George slumped to the ground. "I give up. The Martians have gone. There are too many visitors making a noise." But just then George heard a sweet song. Da, da, da. And suddenly, little green aliens popped up with short, stumpy legs and their 3 eyes. They stomped towards George looking grumpy and glum, and they moaned and they wailed with great sighs. "Are you Martians?" gasped George. "Yes, we are," they replied, "and we're fed up with alien musicians. They've come to our planet and make such a din, and they never ask our permission." "Can you help us?" the Martians begged George in despair as a rock band from Saturn drew near. But just as the sound of guitars filled the air, George had a brilliant idea. He picked up the bag with the last of his sweets and called the Martians, "Come here!" Then he took the marshmallows and carefully pushed one soft sweet into each Martian ear. Hooray, cried the Martians. We can't hear a thing. You've made it so peaceful. Yippee! Then George and his rocket waved them goodbye as he zoomed back to Earth for his tea. That's it. That's the end of the book. What do you want to say, young A?
Bye-bye. I hope make sure you like and subscribe and do the notification bell. We'll see you on the next video, and we're gonna make some funny faces after this book. Bye everyone.
Bye.
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 Bye.